Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will be learning about computer languages and the program logics. So I'll be giving you a simple simple introduction about that what are program logics and what are computer languages. So let's move towards our topic. So, computer languages and program logic. What are the computer languages? From the very basic day, from the very first day, we are listening about the computer languages. So, if you are going to learn about computer languages, you will be knowing that a computer languages is an artificial language designed to work for different applications in different environments and different capacities and different platforms. Programming language can be used to create programs that control the behavior of a computer and serve any purpose. Computer languages have some form of written specifications of their syntax and semantic. It means words, phrases, or sentence. It is talking about that computer language has different capacities to work up. For example, there are many languages who work with human language. As we are speaking English, that it would be understood by computer as well. It is there is a condition if it is language, high level language we will be learning further. It is our another topic we will be learning. So there are many languages understood by computer. So for that to execute those languages in particular form, computer language is an artificial language makes those language understood to computer. Okay, so the term programming language really refers to high level language such as C++, Fortran, Pascal, Oracle, .NET, VB.NET, Hash. These all are the types of languages which are the basic language, which are crucial significant language for used in the particular form. Each mix of keyword, I already told you that would in a computer is what we are going to execute, and it's for organized programs. So languages are known as we are speaking. For example, if I speak English, a person speaks Hindi, speaks language or any other language to humans. But the human, unfortunately, cannot understand languages. Must be computer using language. I already told you all types of language to be used in computers: high-level language, low language, and machine language. These three are the basics of the languages. So this is quite how language is in computers. Grassroots level hardware found up the machine language, which is here food for the computer. The language is the language which is understood by only. We cannot interpret it as we interpret language. Assembly language is a mid of language and machine language. It could be understood as language translates a high language and it is like new and heavy language. So without any high level language must use interpreter. Computer understandable program, readable code or machine code, as I already told you in previous. Language interprets, compiles, translates high level language to machine language to make understand. This modem, this is the source which converts high level language to make computer. While the computer readable code is a language, it is usually in the zero and the form. Basics of the these are examples of language since Fortran architecture. Fortran is a mostly used high-level language entire the world. COBOL is commonly used for applications, transactions, received cash, or bank. COBOL is commonly used for engineering fields and scientific applications. These languages and technique tool. Pascal is generally just C plus general purpose, currently most popular Pascal and C plus plus, which are used in this particularly. So is a language, it's high level language is only used, is going to be said artificial intelligence. You may speaking if you are related with the computer science field, will be acquainted with general purpose programming. Java is designed programs for most of we are used for all. Nokia used Java or Java applications and it's Java is general purpose identical either intelligent whatever the things is application specific as a common law. So .NET it is internet or web being used for the internet networking. General internet is going to run. The .NET for all the time. We have low language, a low level language with the hardware registered by I am known as I told you that a works as a translator and interpreter between high level machine language. The language is also the low level language. That language is the best example of low level language. This is in between machine and high level language. I already explained and reviewed that language is understood by language is the source, which is human natural language. Does not interpret, but it is a pilot as we can see. The processor run low level. The example of code machine here we say in the of you keep low level language. This is understandable in nature, but it is to be understood. Okay, machine is in 0 and 1. We cannot understand it without binary access. So binary access is a topic we will be learning. So here the low level machine languages are the rather resemble language to be understood. The same structure and commands as machine a program's name. For example, in HTML, I know that if you are going to line in the center of the web, you will be just writing down a center. You will be closing a center tag, and you will be writing those particular paragraphs or lines center of the web page. It means we are writing center and center to the by us. Okay, this is we can easily edit it. It is a of a structure being used in high level assembly language in the machines. All the programs were written, but almost all written in a high language because language easily approach. Okay, process language and some of these are being used essential or when to perform operation that in high level language. When we are executing command, we are executing a program. We are not able to go to high language to execute the program. You will do through assembly language to make it executed. So we have to language, different low level language and high level that the main advantage of high level language over which is okay, the advantage language over low level is that easy to write, and if you are going to do a high level language usually because it is closed language easily write command CLI might know that this is most use because it needs basic things. It is a assembly language. It is quite difficult. A machine is a low level language command line interface and it is very difficult to use. So I'm giving review about high level language, make complex programming simple. High level will be understood by you, then that will not be fun for you to understand it. So even where computer associated. For example, computer understand language, computer understand low level language and machine language. From language you can go to high level language to make yourself understand that punctuation exact for all these correct errors, clangers or and you will be writing if there is another condition. Alright, will be showing all of these functions or 10 or for only the input or the output. So that is so real time problems can easily be real language. So these all are so understanding all that I'm. So what's a process of the languages? How language or languages are but program code converter. So there are models of execution of program by languages. It is high-level languages: interpreter, compiler, assembler, translator. These four are the common executions done in high-level language to make high-level language converted in low-level language. An interpreter is a program that executes programming code directly. In C++, you might know much. If you do not know about C++, we will build C++ channel tutorials, and we will something beyond of the programs lives. Okay, interpret a source code on a step-by-step line and unit by unit basis into machine code. Interpreter language is executed directly with that. So interpreter, that one for languages, allow you to make one line interpreter interpreting line of the repetition of one line you second line. Isn't just plus all the source code, after that you compile it, and that would be the console output in front of you? No, it's no. There, if you are writing one line, that one line would be interpreted. After that you will be able to write another line, and another line interpreted. After that you will be able to third line. It means that program iterated step by step, line by line. Doesn't work like a source code to compile it properly. It is interpreter used in many high level languages. So compiler is a program that compiles source code into executable instructions that a computer can understand. It compiles code and produces in exe or exe format before run. To the compilation, it is in the bytecode form. It compiles a code in the form of bytecode for later execution without to reread the source file. Machine code compilation is that if you are executing a program in the machine language, these programs will be virtually be executed directly into the mode. Okay, so as I told you about C++ language, that in C++ language, if you are writing a source code, that would not be interpreted one by one. That will be compiled as a source code in the exe format. Of the that you will be able to execute, you will be able to use that exe format. So these intermediate and machine code compilations were part of that compiling. Third one is assembler. Normally converts assembler into machine language. Assembly of low language for programming computers. It what's done. An assembler is a program that takes instructions and convert them into pattern of bits 0 and 1. That's it. That computer produces result. If you are at home, that will be assembled by that. After that program will be converted into the bits from 0 and 1 form. Machine language will be able to use. Translate is a computer programs one program language instructions into other program. For example, you have made a program in Java and you are making that program to able to use in C++. That translator work out all that. For example, a computer source code is to be a low-level programming language where native code compiles and it in machine language for execution. So these four were the models, executions of. So what is program? Now we have introduced you. I have introduced you all about the computer languages. Now it is time to talk about program logic. Program is an organized list of instructions. What is program? For example, program is a recipe. It contains a list of variables. Means it contains a list of ingredients. In a recipe, you have lot of ingredients. Just like in program, you have lot of list of directions. It means statements that tell the computer what to do. For example, in C++, you are making the program about the addition of two numbers. Then you will be giving two numbers to C++. After that, C++ will be compiling it in front of you. You will be able to use it. So these number variable, and that program is a recipe. putting those variables, putting those ingredients into a program. After that, you will be able to test it. It means use it, execute it. You will be able to do it. So that is program is a recipe being used in all programming languages, all or making a. So keyword is used in programming. Keyword can be values, co-values. Every programming contains keywords. Keywords are sometimes called reserved names. For example, in C++, I'm using a cout, cin, int. These are the particular keywords to those predefined for library. So what is instructions? Instructions, basically this is a common definition that program contains a lot of instructions. The term instruction is often used to describe the programming commands. Computer's instructions set in the list of all basic commands in the computer's machine language. For making a program, you have to give all the instructions in the particular form of the way. Language generations. So now language generations. Computer languages had the same history. From the very beginning were made, languages were also made along the computers. Though there are 5 generations of languages, or 5 generations of computers, as far as development in hardware or development in C++ or development in all languages had occurred from the very beginning. So first generation machine language or low level instructions and data that process is actually given to work on binary or zeros and ones and bit forms. This is a first language. First generation was the pure machine language which was understood by computer. That was most difficult to and by, or we may say this is impossible to understand by the human. Second generation language used assembly level language. And assembly language is that language which is quite understandable for the human nature, and that is we can say the mid language, understood by the humans and understood by the computers. So that took place in 1950s. This language had become popular. Assembly language consists of letters of the alphabets. And third generation language is a high level program language. This is a high level language. First was low level language, first was machine level language, second was assembly level language, or third is high level language, which took place in 1960s. Basic language designed by used by non-professional programmers. Because for example, I'm non-professional programmer, I don't know the keys of the programming. I'll be using a high level program which will be understood by me easily. Fourth generation, closer than nature human. It is beyond of just in the architecture. In previous slide we saw that there were Fortran, C, Pascal. These were the yonder of high level language. These are rather beyond of high level language which were easily eaten by us. Okay. So many fourth generation languages use C, C++, Java and SQL that support as well as web applications. These are the which consist of English words and phrases which are easily be understood by us, just like HTML. To write the title will be a title tag. Title tag is easily understood by that. For example, I'm not a professional programmer, I'm using it, then I can understand the right tag for the title. So it is a fourth generation. So fifth generation languages just like a Java, visual programming products, J++, Visual Basic, ASP, VB0 or CH. These are the most heavy and the most worthless financial language being used in this modern era. These are the graph-fast languages in this modern contemporary world. For now, you are using basically Android. It is operates Android, but it contains a high-level language as programs in these kind of smartphones. So it allows you to see all the icons to assembly logs, or you can say that 3D languages or 2D languages. So that was our common logic section of program. Now it's turn off the